In this lesson, we're going to be talking about opposites. Every number has an opposite. If we think about opposites, we have hot and cold, we have up and down, left and right. There's lots of opposites, and numbers have opposites. Numbers have opposites on the number line. If we find the number 8 on the number line, it's right here, and we can see that it is 8 units away from 0. When we talk about where a number is on the number line, we talk about it in relationship to 0 and the number of units. So 8 is 8 units to the right of 0. Its opposite is 8 units to the left of 0. Negative 8. That's the opposite of 8 because they go in opposite directions. So 8 units to the left, 8 units to the right. Negative 8 is the opposite of 8, and 8 is the opposite of negative 8. Now we're going to take a look at an example that we might see in the real world. When we give someone directions, we often talk about the number of blocks they are from something, and we tell them whether to turn left or right or to go east or west. In this example, Maria decides to take a walk along Central Avenue to purchase a book at the bookstore. This number line is like the street. On her way, she passes the Furry Friends pet shop and goes in to look for a new leash for her dog. So the Furry Friends pet shop would be like a point on the number line. Furry Friends pet shop is 7 blocks west of the bookstore. Now we have a direction. If you remember, on a compass, north is up, south is down, west is to the left, east is to the right. Okay, so we know that Furry Friends pet shop is 7 blocks west, so that direction, of the bookstore. If you look at the number line, each of these marks could be 1 block. She leaves Furry Friends pet shop and walks towards the bookstore to look at some books. If the Furry Friends bookshop is to the west of the bookstore, then she's going to be walking east. She'll be walking that direction. After she leaves the bookstore, she heads east, so now she's going to go this way again, for 7 blocks and stops at Ray's pet shop to see if she can find a new leash at a better price. Okay, we want to know which location, if any, is the farthest from Maria when she is at the bookstore. So we've got several different locations. We've got Furry Friends pet shop, we've got the bookstore, and we have Ray's pet shop. So we've got 3 places we can put on our number line. I'm going to make each tick mark on our number line be 1 block. I know that Furry Friends pet shop is 7 blocks west of the bookstore, and when she leaves the bookstore she goes east for 7 blocks. So I'm going to make the bookstore be in the middle because one thing is to the west of it and one thing is to the east of it. So I'm going to make this point be my bookstore. If Furry Friends pet shop is 7 blocks west of the bookstore, I'm going to count 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here is the Furry Friends pet shop. Right there. And I know that Ray's pet shop is east 7 blocks from the bookstore because she leaves the bookstore, she heads east for 7 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right there is Ray's pet shop. Okay, if I were to put some numbers on here, I think I would make the bookstore 0 because we're talking about these 2 places in relationship to the bookstore. Furry Friends pet shop is 7 blocks west of the bookstore, so this might be a -7. And Ray's pet shop is 7 blocks east of the bookstore, a +7. Okay, so this would be a model for the situation. She's walking along Central Avenue. She stops at Furry Friend's pet shop. Then she goes 7 blocks to the bookstore. Then she goes 7 more blocks to Ray's pet shop. We want to know which location, if any, is the farthest from Maria when she's at the bookstore. Both of those locations are 7 units from the bookstore. So they are in opposite directions, but the same distance. In this lesson, we talked about opposite numbers. The opposite of a number is the same distance from 0, but in the opposite direction as the first number. One number is going to be a positive number, and the other is going to be a negative number. It'll be really easy to find the opposite of a number. Just add or remove the negative sign.